Hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Aditi. Today, after I don't even know how many years, we are cleaning out my library. So, we are going to go through all the books that I've read, that I've not read, things that I don't think I'll ever read again. So, we might want to ditch those out and donate them. I don't know, sell them, whichever one happens first. I have only ever made one other reading sort of like book related video because I used to be a little shy of my nerdy little reading habits, but I've become a shameless grown up individual. I used to be a very shy teenager. Now I don't care if you think my reading is stupid. In fact, now I think if you cannot read a book, then you're stupid. So we have three piles. This is my self help pile, and these are my fiction slash mostly romance piles. Let's go through the smart books first because it's a very easy pile to sort. These are a little complicated because I am emotionally attached to my books. Starting with this Zen, The Art of Simple Living. This book was a very random Amazon order. I don't even know where I read it, but it's a pretty nice book. I'm like halfway through it, but then I left it, and I feel like I will always pick it up again, and I would love to have this in my library. Oh, also, this book is by a Chinese author or Japanese author. Jiska main naam nahi lungi, I'll pronounce it wrong. Yeah, this guy basically has talked to like monks of Japan and Buddhists everywhere. And then this book has like 100 ways to bring yourself true calm and happiness. And it's like really nice 1 page or 2 page little messages that kind of brings you back to reality, makes you ground yourself. The time I found this, I was massively in my own head and depressed. So this brought me a lot of calm and joy in my life, and I feel like most of my depressions or like depressive episodes come from being in my own head. So I would like really like this book in my collection. Read maybe 2 pages. I don't know, I would still like to keep because I think I'll like this book will find me when the time is right. So we're keeping this. I got it when I thought that I want to be like a hardcore designer, blah blah. Did not read more than 5 pages, but I feel like I would love to have this in my library to just look smart, and maybe one day I'll read it. This is something that I borrowed from my sister, thinking that I want to get into the smart people books and read this and Rich Dad Poor Dad and all that. Plus, I took this from her when I was 19 and I did not know how to make friends. This is Mark Manson's Everything is Fucked. I don't know if I will like kind of read it, but I would love to have it because I genuinely liked the first book of The Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So let's keep this and hope that someday I pick it up. Talking about Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, here's the book. I have read it. I genuinely do not remember most of it, but certain things that really stuck with me. But I do keep going back to this summary that the author himself has released. And I think it's a good reminder. Plus, I do think I have learned the subtle art, actually, not subtle, quite loud art of not giving a fuck. It's the science of self discipline. I've read like half of it. I bought it when I was 16 and I was like going through my better yourself, very, very Tamcore and all those girls era, Wizard Liz and all that. So I don't know if I'll pick it up ever again, but I have a very small collection of self help, so I don't mind keeping it here. Maybe someday I will. This book is, I've read like maybe 4 essays out of it, but I genuinely enjoy. Like it's a very point to point book. Like how do I explain? It's very points Huey book, and it's not a lot of bullshit. It kind of just tells you exactly what to do, and I enjoy those kind of books because I genuinely think they come from like real life people experiences, and I enjoy real life people experiences. One more econ book that my brother put it in my library. We're done with our self-help section, so we're coming to fiction. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I don't know. I don't remember if I've read it. This was actually a ex-friend gave me this book. Dhruvi, if you, I don't know. I don't think you watch my channel, but if you do, if you want this book, you can definitely take back. I and that girl have no beef, man. I just feel like we stopped talking. This was not even hers. This was her brother's. So if he wants it back, he can definitely have it. अभी rainy season चल रहा है, some cozy day I'll sit with this. this. I finished this like half an hour ago. I was sobbing my eyes. It's again one of those books that come from people's experiences, and I love it so much. It's about Maury. Mitch is basically his student. Maury is the professor. Maury is dying. He has ALS, a disease that kind of spreads like poison in your body from top to bottom, or bottom to top, and you like stop functioning bit by bit, and it takes your soul out. But Maury is such a gem of a person, and he sticks with his life, his happiness, and his content, and he hands out life lesson like it's a candy. And this entire book is kind of like sitting in a room with Mitch and Maury, and they meet each other every Tuesday. Mitch flies to Maury's city every Tuesday, and they sit in his dining, his study, his bedroom. And this book is written so amazingly that it feels, oh, is my book burning? Wow. No, it was not. But it is just such a well written book. And this is my first of this genre of book. I don't know what this genre is called. This was actually a gift from a boy. I don't know if he will ever come across this, but thanks. You did a good job, man. I truly enjoy when people give me books, and I cherish them. Now, let's come to the shameful pile of my high school collection of books. Like a love song, I think I'm gonna donate this because I don't even remember when I bought it, and I don't even remember what the story is. But I do remember that she makes cupcakes and she has a very sad love story and she ends up alone and all that. And yeah, I just feel like this was a good read when I was really young. But now that I am the kind of the protagonist's age, when I see her making stupid decisions, I kind of want to scream at her, and I don't enjoy that kind of secondhand embarrassment. Set on You is a very sweet romance between curvy fitness influencer, and I think he's a firefighter. Yeah, it's a very nice, sweet, wholesome, obsessed with each other in a healthy way kind of a book. Of course, it is a pink cover. It's not going to be a dark romance. I feel like I've read it. I will never read it ever again, which happens with most of romance books. So this one's also getting donated or given to some friend or something or the other. All the Boys ka pehla part, I will keep this with me because my ninth grade best friend gifted this to me. And I genuinely like this book a lot. I like this movie a lot. I think it's a very wholesome romance that I go back to because I'm comforted by Jenny Han. This is the only book I like from Jenny Han, by the way. I mean, this entire series. So this is a keep. I'm collecting all the Harry Potters, so this is the first one that I have. Honestly, if someone wants to gift me Harry Potter, I will like take it with open arms. And अगर कोई मुझसे बहुत प्यार करता है और वो मुझे दिखाना चाहता है romantic, platonic, familial, I will not mind a Harry Potter hardcover set, all the books. I will kiss you if you get me that. Forest of Enchantments, and the other one is Palace of Illusions. And I think she's such an amazing author because these are gods that she's writing about. These are like people jinki hum puja karte hain. But the way she writes, this is basically Ramayan from Sita's perspective. So the way she writes about this entire story humanizes Sita so much, and like you kind of relate to her because she's not just a goddess, she's not just a mythical character, and she's not just a woman meant to sacrifice her entire being for good of the others and good of like the greater good, whatever. She's also just a girl. She's also a woman who deserves to, be given some space to feel, to process, to just exist. And I think this was my first Indian author read, except for Chetan Bhagat. Chetan Bhagat was a scarring experience for me, so we don't talk about it. But yeah, man, I will cherish this book, and I think I'll keep coming back to it because it's so well written. And I feel like the time when I read it, I think I read it in college when I was kind of going through my own little heartbreak, and Sita was going through her own little heartbreak. Not that I can relate to gods, but when I read this book, I read of Sita just as a girl, not as a goddess. So my heart shattered for her. If you don't know the way Ramayana ended, she had to kind of give up her existence just to prove that she was pure, I guess. This is how the book ends. I have not read the real Ramayana. I love this book. I have the entire book series. Do I think I'll ever go back to it? No, but do I think this was my gateway drug to dark romance? Yes, and I just would keep this for memory's sake. I love the Christian and I don't know, Twisted Lies. Yeah, I love that book most out of all four. But these I got when I was really young. I don't even know where I bought them from, but this is like a story of a princess. It's kind of like a swayamvar that happens, and there is one prince, and then he has to choose between all these princesses, and most of them have to be like the aristocrats, and they are like divided into there's basically casteism in the book. So they are divided by numbers, key level 1, level 2, level 3, and depending on money and what kind of jobs they do, basic casteism. So only level ones are allowed, and this girl who's like from a poor level kind of sneaks in. Why, I don't remember. I guess for money and just, to save her family, of course, like every other book. And then they fall in love, and then when they get to know that, oh, she's from a lower caste, the guy actually is ready to give up his crown. And then there's this whole fiasco and all that, and then they eventually end up abolishing the caste system. So there are four books into this. In first two books, the king finds his queen, and the next two books, they both have a daughter, and then she becomes the queen, I guess. And then she is kind of finding herself a groom, and then she's also finding a way out of the post casteism removal chaos, because there is still casteist ideas in people's heads, and there's like war and blood and whatnot. Not in very gory details. I think this is meant for like some 15, 13, 14 year olds. This is not meant for grown ups. So I want to give this away because I know that I'll not ever complete this series. I've read 3 out of 4 books. I am considering that fulfilled, so I want to get rid of it. Ew. Just one word. Ew. Bro, I hate Colin Hoover. First of all, she's a shitty, shitty human being. Plus, all of her books are so wrong. Like, there is something so incestuous wrong. Just, it come, like, you can read her books, most of them. Verity, I've heard really good things about, but that's one book that I've not, like, read, because I've also heard that it's very, very disturbing. Uski movie aa rahi hai, I'll just watch the movie. I just feel like Colin Hoover has something really wrong in her head, and she gives very messed in the head kind of energy. And I don't want to have this book in my life, so I'm gonna throw it out. My first love is Twilight. There is one more book, I don't know where, but I will always keep this, cherish this, go back to this. It is a very sweet little pleasure of mine. I'll not call it guilty because none of my pleasures are guilty, but I love Twilight. This is Songbird by Josephine Cox. This is a book that I got in one of those book sales. I don't even know what's it about. But I read like 20, 30 pages of it, and I was kind of hooked back then. It happened like a long time ago. So I'd like to keep this. Oh, my first Virginia Woolf purchase, A Room of One's Own. I heard about this on a reel, and I loved the concept. I feel like she writes in such heavy English that it would take me a few reads to actually understand what she's talking about and not lose my head in the process. But I would love to have this round. I have read maybe like 30 to 40 pages of it. Every time I start reading, I get hooked, and then somehow I stop reading. So, Ian Flynn, I would love to keep you around because I know it's a banger book. I've heard it from everyone. So, I've not even watched the movie because मेरे को ये book पढ़नी है, first hand experience करना है, because books are 1,000 times better than movies. Everyone knows that. Ways to Live, a very kind of sad, childish approach to death. It's about this kid who gets leukemia, and he has this little wish list where he wants to like fulfill all of this before he, I don't know if it's before he turns 12 or before he dies, but he does end up dead. I think I got this book as a hand me down from my older cousin. I don't want it around because it's quite a sad read, and I am grown enough that I know what loss of life kind of looks like, and I don't enjoy books that end with loss of life, especially a kid's loss of life, because it's such a heart shattering thing, man. When I was younger, I thought, oh yeah, death, whatever. But the more I grew up, the more I like kind of realized the value of life. It's a little hard to then say, oh, what, death, you know? The Midnight Library. I got this for 100 rupees in Pune. I kind of have read like 2, 3 pages. Between life and death, there is a library, and shelves go on forever, and every book provides you a chance of trying another life you could have lived, to see how things would be if you made other choices. Would you have done anything different if you had a chance to undo your regrets? I enjoy the kind of thought process or the idea of what ifs. kind of like living multiple lives. That's the reason I read books, because it kind of gives you a window into a different life, a different person, a different character. That is why I enjoy books. So I read this in a very fancy Pune library and a bookstore, and then eventually I bought it from the street. Do I support piracy? Fuck yeah. Now we are at the last pile of our books. Um, Chetan Bhagat. Chetan Bhagat, man, Revolution 2020. It's kind of a messed up book between two friends and the girl choosing the rich kind of the different kind of friend. I don't know. But 2020 has happened. Revolution has ended. It's about like this one guy who's really sweet. Again, Chetan Bhagat loves to sell books, and he's openly admitted it about the girl chooses the poor guy, but then she ends up marrying the rich guy and kind of villainizing women. And I don't know, I just don't enjoy his books. This was kind of my gateway into romance as a very young kid, but I would like to send this out. I think if I read it ever again, I will kind of get really mad. But I do remember very specifically that the female protagonist in this wears a onion pink lehenga in her wedding, because I did go up and take my mom's phone and look up onion pink lehenga, and the tab se I've been obsessed with that color as a lehenga color. Pride and Prejudice. I love this book. I genuinely feel like everyone who enjoys Pride and Prejudice as a movie needs to read the book, because Darcy comes off kind of like an asshole in the movie, because they kind of miss out on a lot of story, because of course they need to make it short and kind of not lose their entire life money on this. But read the book. Darcy is genuinely a much more layered and kind of better character in book. I love Pride and Prejudice. Another very famous Chetan Bhagat book, Half Girlfriend. I don't remember how this one ended. Oh yeah, she ended up giving up her entire, life to become a Biharan litti chokha kind of a girl, even though she comes from a very well-off background. She was a feminist and whatnot. Again, I have a problem with Chetan Bhagat's writing and his idea of storylines. But he's recently also admitted that he does it on purpose because it sells. So I really hope he's not the kind of person who thinks that this can work in actual life. 13 Reasons Why. I don't want to keep this because it's a really dark book. I don't want to I don't think I'll ever go back to this book. It was actually borrowed from a friend. Ishika, if you are watching, I don't think you will, but this is a book that you gave me a long, long time back. And if you want it back, I will come give it to you. One of those books that I got from वो sale, वो नहीं होती जिसमें you have to fill up the box and you can buy everything for like 500 and all that. It's a small book. I know I enjoy small books and I'll read it at some point, so I want to keep it. Fault in Our Stars, John Green. I just again don't want to read about children dying. It's a very sad book and it's very beautifully written, but I am over the age of where I would have enjoyed this. So and it was one of those dabba books that I got because I wanted to fill the box. I don't know anything about this, but I would like to keep this because it's so pretty, no? It's so cute. And it's about some kind of a arranged marriage, forced proximity. I enjoy those kind of books. One more John Green book. I do not remember owning this. I don't even remember what this book is about. Miles Hayton. Oh, I have read it. I have read it. But I don't want it anymore because clearly it was not memorable enough to stick around. Plus, like, it's about a child and I am over the age. I always like protagonists somewhere around my age because I feel like then it's easier to relate. This is a friend's book. It's I like Nisha Sharma. I like her the series of the I don't know what the series is called, but I do like it. I will read it and I'll then give it back to the friend. I genuinely do not know what the book is about, but there are two books inside: Rules of Summer and The Name of Game. Uh, I think I'll keep this around, try like giving it a read, and if I don't like it, I'll return it, like send it out. Um, Red, White, and Royal Blue. This was my first like BL book, and I think the only one that I have truly enjoyed and appreciated because it goes through so many plot lines, not just focusing on romance. And I do enjoy that because I do subscribe to the idea that love is not the only thing enough to suffice you for the rest of your life. There's so many other aspects to life. So yeah, it's a good book. I love the movie. I love the chemistry between the two characters. This is Palace of Illusions. I have yet to complete this book. This is the one that I'm currently reading. I'm gonna force myself to sit down once and read it completely through because the book is so interestingly written. This is about her side of the story, and similar to Forest of Enchantments, Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni has done an amazing job. The way she writes is gorgeous. I enjoy her writing. I enjoy the way she describes people, characters, builds a plot, and just humanizes everything. And just, yeah, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna finish this week. Song of Achilles. I bought this because my crush loved it. I had a crush in college. She was really into it. But have I read it? No. But will I keep it? Yes. I don't even remember where I bought it from. But it's like a pretty nice, like, I've heard really nice things about it. So maybe I read it. I wanna die, but I still wanna eat tteokbokki. Bought this for like 60 rupees from Delhi ka some roadside, okay? And I really enjoy this book. Why? Because it's kind of like this girl's diary and her therapy sessions with her therapist, obviously, and she admits to things that I kind of relate with. And I think that it's a very sad, relatable, kind of realistic read of life. And I do enjoy it quite a lot. I've read like almost half of it. And yeah, it's a pretty small, nice little book. And again, it's a very chotu book. So it's definitely a travel read for me. I take like chotu books to metro with me. It's a very, she has all the insecurities that I do. She kind of lives, has the same mindset that I did, where she's like happy in her life right now, but her past is kind of, it kind of keeps coming back to her, and keeps, she keeps getting in her own way. I don't know, it's just a, I relate to the girl a lot in the book. And yeah, I feel like it's a book that keeps hitting me in face like reality. Did I say that sentence right? Anyways, I got this in Bombay at Prithvi Cafe. I love getting books in like all memorable places. I got this on 1st of April 2022. I have read maybe one fourth of it. I do enjoy it. I feel like it's a decent enough read. So I'd like to keep it around. Small book, travel read. I've read half of it. I am not able to get through with this book. This is really sad. The Boy in Striped Pajamas. But it is also something that I really want to read. It makes you realize how horrible the entire Nazi system was to people. And it comes from such innocent point of view. Like, it's written from the kid's point of view, whose dad was working with the Nazis, I guess. Yeah. And it's so innocent, and it's so like well written, and you can't even hate on the character because he was just a byproduct of his dad's actions. And yeah, I've read like half of it, maybe one fourth actually. I'd love to finish this book. It's so nice print, man. I love, enjoy ऐसे थोड़ी battered old looking books. They add so much character. Plus, I don't like treating my books like some prized possession. I like to read them, and I like to use them without worrying about, oh, spine crack हो जाएगी, oh, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा. Books are meant to be a little worn, a little torn, a little like used, because that's how it kind of makes me feel at home and makes me feel like I've actually read it. This is a gift from a very sweet, special person. I made a new friend, and she's an absolute sweetheart. And I don't really read thrillers, but I've heard really good things about it. She's raved about it. Every other person's raved about it. And I've read like few pages, and it's so like kind of nicely written that you don't even understand what's happening. But at the same time, I've read like how many pages? I've read 30 pages, and abhi tak I've just understood that the way the writer writes, you're constantly on the edge, you're constantly anticipating, and tumko pata hai that something is going wrong, but you just can't point your finger at it. Abhi tak to itna hi samjha. That's my book collection. I am excited for all the new space that I have created in my bookshelf. Now there are going to be new books, and yeah, this is fun. I have a lot to read in my TBR now. And thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you enjoy book content. I'll make more of it. And yeah, thank, like, share, subscribe. See you in the next one. Mwah.